My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask you for pardon of my sins and the grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Mother Immaculate, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, Saint Monica, intercede for me. On the feast of Saint Monica, the liturgy proposes us to read the account of the resurrection of that boy from Naim. On your way to Naim, Lord, accompanied by your disciples and a great number of people, close to the gates of the town, you met a procession carrying out a dead boy for burial. He was the only son of his mother, who was a widow. She had lost her husband, and now she had lost also her only child, and there was no one left to support her. Maybe for that reason, we read that a considerable number of the townspeople were with her. They felt sorry for her. But this allows us to understand that there is nothing more at odds with you, Jesus, than indifference. Indifference is not a word in God's dictionary. When you, Lord, saw the widow, you approached her. Nobody had come to you, Jesus, to intercede for this woman. Nobody asked you to do something or to comfort the lady or to say a prayer for the boy. But the tears of this woman had touched your heart, Jesus. I can imagine the silence. The crowd following you stops. The crowd accompanying the woman falls silent. And in this intense moment for contemplation, what are we looking at? The compassion of God. We see your heart in action. For you approached that woman in the middle of that silence and said to her, "Do not cry. Do not cry, woman. God is not indifferent to your loss. Do not cry, woman. God is not insensitive to your sufferings. Do not cry, woman. God is not unconcerned about the loss of your family. God does not look the other way when his children suffer." This is the message for all mankind. God is moved by the suffering of his children. God feels their distress. God cares for their miseries, their toils, their illnesses, their loss. Lord, help me to remind people of this truth. Since your death on the cross, no Christian has the right to suffer alone. For even when they feel abandoned, they are not forsaken. You, Lord, are always with those who suffer. The woman heard you saying, "Do not cry," and fixed her eyes on you. And the people who came with her gazed at you with confusion. Who's this rabbi? How is he going to comfort this widow who had lost everything? What is he going to say? What is he going to do? And you, Lord, didn't say anything else to the woman. Now you addressed the child and said, "Young man, I tell you to get up." And the miracle happened. The boy sat up and began to talk, says the Gospel. And you, Lord, took him in your arms. And we read in the Gospel, and gave him to his mother. You gave the child back alive. Everyone was amazed when they saw you, Lord, hugging the child alive and giving him back to the widow in tears, tears changing from sorrow to joy. It is remarkable that in all the miracles when Jesus resurrected people in the Gospel, nobody asked for it. People asked for healings, but not for resurrections. When the daughter of Jairus died, they thought it wasn't worth bothering Jesus anymore. And when Lazarus died, they even said that Jesus was too late. This woman in the Gospel today doesn't seem to have asked for the resurrection of the boy. Well, they may not have expected it, but they all wanted it. There are many ways to ask for a miracle. The way the widow looked at Jesus in tears was one of them. This gospel is a great choice for the memorial of Saint Monica. As you remember, she also had a dead husband, spiritually dead, far away from God. And she had a spiritually dead son too. Like a good mother and a good wife, she didn't stop praying for them. Apparently her husband, Patricius, a Roman pagan, was leading an immoral life. He could probably have been in one of those sad reality shows that we skip on TV nowadays. He had respect for his wife, but he was annoyed at her faith. And Saint Monica didn't give up on her husband or on her prayers. After 30 years praying for her husband, Patricius was baptized before he died. But then it was her son who was the source of Saint Monica's suffering. He also was going off the rails. He could have joined his father on his reality show and even beat him in popularity ratings. He was a rebel all his life. He didn't like study, particularly Greek. He had problems with pride, with chastity, stealing, keeping bad companies, lying, you name it. He was obsessed with fame and rhetoric, but God wasn't part of his vocabulary. As a good mother, Saint Monica never gave up. She had spent 30 years praying for her husband and was ready to keep it up for her son. Saint Ambrose, Bishop of Milan, encouraged her to carry on with faith. It was he who consoled her with the now famous words, "The child of those tears shall never perish." Just like the widow of the Gospel, God wasn't indifferent to the tears of that mom. God never stops listening to the prayers of moms. Moms are such powerful intercessors. They never give up on the children. As one mom told me, she always prays to our Lord with the very words of Jesus to his Father. "Lord, I ask you that no one of those you have given me may be lost." This mom has been given 8 children and many, many grandchildren. "Lord, that nobody you have entrusted to me may be lost." Saint Monica kept praying, and you, Lord, were not insensitive to her tears and to her prayers. Her son converted at the age of 31. You know him, of course. St. Augustine, he didn't just become a Christian. He became a priest, a bishop, a theologian, one of the most brilliant minds in Christian history. But first of all, he was a great saint and a father of the Church. The perseverance of a mother who didn't give up on her son and her prayers changed the course of Christianity. We celebrate Monica today and her son tomorrow. You see, she comes first. God is not indifferent to the prayers of those mothers or those fathers, those friends who do not give up on prayer, those they love, so that no one of those you have given them may be lost. And if there is a mother who never gives up on her children, that is Mary, Our Lady, your mother. There you are, Mother most holy, close to God in heaven, speaking good things to him on our behalf. I give you thanks, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask you for help to put them into effect. My Mother Immaculate, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, Saint Monica, Saint Augustine, intercede for me.